Hello everyone, welcome back to X-Plane 11 once again. My name is jfavignano and today we're going to look at the Carenado Baron 58. However, I have bought the Reality Expansion Pack known as REP, and this changes the airplane 100% compared to the Carenado default airplane that you get. Not to say that, it's not a stunning airplane as it is. It's just the flight dynamics and certain things about the Carenado product I'm just not huge over. That's why pretty much all of the products that I do get of Carenado, I usually go back and make some changes on. With that said, this is the Reality Expansion Pack, and you see we have a new menu here on the left-hand side. One is the kneeboard, which is really cool. You can just hit right over there. You know how I take the mouse and just click, or I don't click, I just move it to the right. It opens your kneeboard, and it closes the kneeboard. That's a really cool feature. But before we get everything going here, let's start with the walk around. So let's do the walk around. We're gonna go ahead and click this, and you can see right here we're greeted with the the checklist and the walk around portion of this airplane. Let's put away those. Control lock is removed and it's stowed. Parking brake is set right there. All switches are off. Trim tab is set to, we want it to be at 0. It looks like it's not, and it doesn't seem like it wants to go up and down in this view, so we'll that's all right. Let's go ahead and hit, put that away, hit next. And now we are outside. So load distribution, checked and secured. Static port is clear of all obstructions. Yes, it is. We'll hit next. Control surfaces, clear of obstructions. Yes, I don't see anything there. We'll check the elevator. You hold this down and it makes the sound. Very cool. To make sure that the elevator works fine, we're just going to cruise through this. Control surfaces are clear and tail cone and lights look good. And nothing wrong with those. We check the rudder. It makes that little sound. Lovely. Next, we have the tie down. We can remove that and continue on around the airplane. Cabin air inlet is clear of obstructions. The other outlet is as well. Static port is good. All antennas and lower beacon are checked. Hit next. Flaps. Let's go ahead and check those. That's what you want right there. Next, ailerons. So it pretty much adds like an Airfoil Labs style to this, which is really cool. Lights and de-ice boot. They're in great condition. We hit next. Fuel, there it is. Color 91 liters total is in the quantity of it, and there's no contaminants in it as well. Tie down here, we're going to remove that guy, and we'll move on to the chocks. Here's the tire status, looks good. Toggle the chocks, and I'll show you what that means, that green bar there. Engine oil looks beautiful. We'll check the quantity of it. Landing light is good. Engine cowling checked. Engine air intake. We're going to take these covers off here. So boom, like that. Prop looks great. Pitot, remove that guy. And looks good. Taxi light looks actually wonderful. Heater air inlets are checked and cleared. Baggage door is currently secure. Engine oil looks good on that side. Landing lights are good on that. We'll toggle the cover there. Continue on. Chocks, remove those. And we want the tie down as well. Boom. Fuel looks fantastic. Now, with the Reality Expansion Pack, this is kind of similar to Airfoil Labs and similar to what you would, have with, you have to take care of your airplane that you own, which is really cool. Lights and de-ice boots look good there. Fantastic. Check the aileron. Awesome. Next, flaps. Fantastic. We are done with our walk around. We didn't close that out, and we are greeted back in here again. Put that away. And here is the inside of the Carenado Baron 58, which by default is absolutely gorgeous. So the Reality Expansion Pack doesn't do anything, but it changes the flight dynamics of it, the way the airplane behaves, the sounds, and so on and so forth. Let's open up that little window. It's a warm day here. We're in Lakeland, Florida. In fact, this is the Sun and Fun scenery, so that's why you're going to see what looks to be an air show going on from the whole Sun and Fun thing. But we're not worried about that. We're just going to hop over to Orlando today and have a look at that. So we have the parking brake set. Let's go ahead and open our kneeboard. Before starting, engine seats are positioned and locked. Seat belts and shoulder harnesses are fastened and adjusted. Parking brake is set. All the avionics are off. Oops. Landing gear handle is down. There it is right there. Cowl flap switches. We're going to make sure they're open. I should have some presets here, and I do. They're closed. We're going to open our cowl flaps there. Oop. Come on, grab it and pull it. There we go. Grab and pull down. Some of these default Carenado things, I'm not a huge fan of the scroll wheel thing. I think you could turn those plugins off by themselves. Not worried about it. Fuel selector down there on the bottom. How did you look? Oop. Would look down there. They're on, but yeah, both of them are on. Fantastic. Sorry about that. I keep hitting the 1 key and it keeps putting us below on the belly cam. Circuit breakers are all in. Yes, they are. Battery and alternator switches. We're going to turn the battery on like that. Beacon will come on as well. That's going to be right there. Fuel quantity indicators. Where's my fuel quantity? Where you at? I know I'm looking at them. Here they are down here. There they are. Yeah, we're not totally empty. We have just enough. We have about an hour and a half of fuel on board. All right. Landing gear position lights are good. Emergency landing gear hand crank is stowed. Next. Oop. Click on that. Starting. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Mixture control is going to go full rich. Now, you wouldn't think that this is how you would start this airplane, but this is how you do it. You pull these both forward. Let's make sure there's our throttle there and our props. Our props going to go all the way forward. I have those separated on my X55. And we're good there. So what you do is you go full forward on that. Throttles are going to go full open, which is so strange, I know, but you're going to go full forward on those. And what you're going to do is turn on a fuel pump for a boost pump for each engine and prime it. So we don't want it to go too high. You'll flood the engine. So I have a notorious thing where I flood the engine on my live streams of the REP stuff. So I'm going to try not to do it today. Turn that on. There's our fuel flow there and off. No, off. You're going to flood it. Yeah, bastard. We'll do the same thing for the right engine. There's the fuel flow. And off. Fantastic. We'll pull this back. Add a little bit of throttle about right there. It's going to be good. And we'll flip the left switch to start the left engine. And it fires right up. There we go. We'll do the same thing for the right engine. And it is away. Avoid high RPMs while the cylinders are still cold. Wait for the CHT to reach the green arc. Well, you got it. I'm working on that. We're not on high RPMs, so I just had it, cracked for the most part. All right, so that's looking good. Magneto start switches to start. The throttles are looking good right there. Oil pressure looked fantastic. It's in the green. Alternator switch. We're going to get those on right now. Left and right alternator. That's why we have low bus volts. I think that's because we have a low RPM. Yeah, it goes away when you do that. We'll turn the avionics on. There they are. I love that pop. You get that boom sound, which is really, really cool. Everything else looks pretty good. And after start and taxi, avionics on. Yep. Interior lights, brakes. We're going to do all that stuff. And we'll be ready for the before takeoff run up. But as you can hear, the sound of the wind and all that good stuff, it is just absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and do our trim here. I like to have 3 units up. I think 3 units up is pretty good. So that's perfect right there. Yeah, about right there is good. As well as our flaps are going to go down to 1 notch for the approach setting there, the blue light. There they are. Those are good to go. And we're ready to taxi on out of here. We're going to find out what's going on with the weather here in Lakeland, and we'll select our runway as we need. All right, winds in Lakeland are 32012, gust 16, 10 statute miles of visibility, altimeter 3001. So let's go ahead and get 3001 in here. 3001. One's gonna be about right there. That'll work fine. We have 1 runway shut down, so we're gonna be running over to runway 27 and taking off to the west. And we'll turn around and head east. That's gonna be our best bet here since, the runways are shut down for the whole air show. So let's go ahead and turn these guys on, and you'll see the reflection of the yoke. That looks so cool. I love it. Make sure that feels all good, okay? Making sure that's right. We'll do that in the run-up, but, let's go ahead and get a direct to our destination here. So we're going to be going to Kilo, going to MCO. So Mike, Charlie, and Oscar. Orlando. Boom, boom. And we're good to go. So distance is 45 miles. Distance to track is 061. So that's what we plan on doing. Let's go ahead and release the brakes. And I have brakes. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on as well. Squawk out there. Because why not? keeping an eye on everything over here. That looks nice. Turn to the right. Yeah, that'll work just fine. And we'll taxi over to runway 27. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi light on here as well. Taxi. We'll turn nav on. Why not? Yep, there's our taxi light there. I'll put that back on. And we'll taxi over to runway 27. There's some airplanes on display over there on our left as we taxi down to the runway. Let's get back on the center line here on taxiway Alpha, and we'll do a run up down here. Winds are out of the north, so we're going to actually spin to the left and do our run up into the wind, and all should be well. On our takeoff, we're going to be 2,700, I believe, is what the max is going to be on our RPM for the props. And you can only run that for like 5 minutes or so, or for so long before it starts to damage the engine. So what we'll end up doing is pulling that back to 2,500 on the climb out. And what you're going to hear is the engines are going to warble. They're gonna change the sound back and forth, and it's going to be like a kind of sound, which is extremely realistic in the real airplane. And I absolutely love that they modeled that in this one as well. All right, we'll spin it right here into the wind. We'll be ready to go here shortly. Turn to the left. I am not using X Enviro. I'm just using default X-Plane 11. We'll get into the reason why I'm doing that as well. Let's go ahead and pull this guy. So we're stopped. That looks good to me. Before takeoff, parking brake is set. Seatbelts are good. Fuel boost pumps are off. All instruments have been checked and set. Fuel indicators are good. Mixture is full rich. Starter energized. Annunciator light is off. Throttle. So we're going to go up to 2,200 RPM. About right there. There's 2,200 RPM. Then we're going to check our magnetos on the left. There's the drop. Back to that. Check this one. There's the drops on each side. Back to that. Remember, it's not like a Cessna where you have to just check one. You have to check them both. That looks good. Throttles back to 1,500 RPM. About right there. That looks good. Oh, they said 1,700, didn't they? I'm so used to flying a Cessna. No, they had throttles at 1,500 RPM. Check feathering, that's what we want to do. There we go. Those are working. And we'll bring these babies back to idle. Flaps are set for takeoff. Electric trim is set. Flight controls are free and correct. Doors and windows. Close that guy. And you'll see it gets a lot quieter here in the airplane. Parking brake is released. And we're ready to go flying. How about that? How about them apples? Oh, we need to turn on our strobe light and landing lights as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Landing, we'll turn that taxi light off and we'll go strobe. If I can see it. We could probably turn our panel lights on too so we can see a little bit more. It's a little bit weird. This spot, I can't read. There's the strobes right there. It's like, where are they at? There they are. I'll add our little power right here. And we're ready to go flying. Ready to go flying. So yeah, I'm not using X Enviro, and the reason is because I've been having some issues with it. Not only have I been having problems, I love the squeal of the brakes and stuff with the REP. Not just, you know, let's do our crosswind component. The problem with, you know, the wind shifting and all that good stuff. I've just been having some other issues with it, and I'm waiting to see if they do any updates or anything like that before I continue on with it, you know. All right, so let's go ahead and add our power nice and slow. It's coming to life, and we'll go easing into the power there. Full power set. You hear the engines warble like that. Bring out that crosswind component. Down the runway we go. Here's our rotation speed. Nice back pressure, and we are off the ground just like that. Positive brake gear up. goes the gear. Wonderful. I'm gonna hit the CDI here. It's on VLOC. We're gonna put it on GPS. And you hear that wow, wow. It's because the engines are slightly out of sync with each other. We'll turn the engine sync on here in a little while, but we're gonna clean the airplane up on our departure here. About 800 there, and bring our flaps in. There's the drop of the nose. And now we can make a right turn here, and we need to put this on a heading of 061. So let's go ahead and get our course over here to 061. About right there. That'll work. We're in a nice standard 20-degree turn to the right. And we're going to pull our engines back to 2,500 RPM here. About right. There's good. Climbing out about 140 knots. I mean, that's pretty quick. I love the Baron. It's a fantastic little airplane. Absolutely awesome. And a dream to fly. The thing I love so much about these reality expansion packs, and let me explain more about, you know, what you're seeing here with the reality expansion pack, is the fact that you pay $20 for the add-on to the Carenado product. So you're paying for the product of the Carenado airplane, which is anywhere from $35 to $40, you know. You get that, and if you really, really, really love the airplane, there's a few reality expansion packs out for the Carenado airplanes. There's this one. I own the 210 Centurion 2, which I love as well. You know, so you can do that as well. All right, so we're below 2,500 RPM. Let's make sure we are perfectly below 2,500, about right there, before we engage prop sync. We'll turn prop sync on. What that's going to do is try to sync these props up so we don't have to hear a horrible sound the entire time. But now we're all right here on our climb out. We're just going to climb to about 4,000 feet today. Nothing too crazy. No need for any of that. And we're trying to intercept our GPS on this CDI there. And we just got hit by a little bit of wind. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I've been in multi-engine airplanes, and you just kind of get used to that sound of the warbling. The wom, wom, wom. And you can change it by, you know, adjusting the two props. So, like, you could just move one and try to get rid of it. Although prop sync's on, so there we go. It went away when I did that. Sometimes you have to do that, I've noticed, with these airplanes, the reality expansion pack ones. Nice slight turn to the left. Actually, I'm gonna wait till we get a little bit closer on the line before we make that left turn. I decided 4,000 is gonna be a little too low. We're gonna go up to 6. So let's go ahead and put 6,000 in there. I have had nothing but problems with this autopilot. I don't know why. It does some stupid things. But we'll see what it does here today. There we go. Start the left turn. We'll try out the autopilot in a little bit. I'm going to turn off these panel lights. I don't think we really need them, since we're up here in the air now. But it climbs out so beautifully. So beautifully. Roll off here. And we're good there. Beautiful. All right, we're slightly to the left of our track, but we're going to try to get it a little bit more. We'll just do like a 5-degree intercept on it until we line it up. It's 5,000, so 1 to go to 6,000 feet. This is our autopilot right here. So what I'm going to do is turn on navigation and altitude. So let's see here. I'm going to wait till we get to 6,000, and then I'm going to engage the altitude. And once I engage the altitude, then I will engage the navigation mode. So it'll fly itself. There we go. A little bit like that. That'll do nicely. It just flies like an absolute dream with this mod. I mean, it's worth the $20 extra if you're going to get a Carenado airplane like this. It really is. And the links for this will be in the description below if you want to check it out on the xplane.org store. I had a lot of people telling me, oh, if you haven't tried the reality expansion packs, you must. If you're a GA guy and you love GA airplanes, you got to do it. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. There's an altitude hold right there. And now we can go over to the nav mode. And nav is CDI right there. It's on GPS. So it's engaging into the GPS right now. And 5,997, good enough. You can turn the yaw damper on as well. And we're good for cruise now. So if we open up our kneeboard and we go to the cruise page, let's have a look here. There's cruise climb, that's what we did there, 2,500 RPM. And we'll go to the cruise page. Cowl flaps can be closed now, so let's go ahead and do that. Grab these bad boys. Close you. Close you. All right, those are closed. Power is set. Fuel boost pumps are off. Mixture set using EGT, so we could lean it if we wanted to. But we're not really worried about that today because we're not paying for the gas. I'd rather have these engines running than be messing with them. And I've had some problems leaning in the in my free time with this airplane, so I don't want to mess with that too much. Let's head outside and have a look at beautiful Florida. We are 18 miles out. We're going to go ahead and get ready to start our descent. We're going to go ahead and release the yaw damper, and the autopilot's going to come off. We're going to start our descent down. I'm going to pull the power back a little bit here. And you can hear those sounds come right back to us here because we're going to end up turning prop sync off. So we're going to have control of the airplane again ourselves. And we have a nice little healthy 1,500 foot per minute descent here. We'll pull the power back a lot more than that. And that's the airport right off our nose there. So let's go ahead and listen in. I tuned to 121.25. We'll listen to the ATIS.
Orlando INTL information tank. 1700 solar weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 7,000 few. 30,000 scattered. Temperature 2.11. Altimeter 3000.
3000, fantastic.
Left. Departing runway 17 left. Advise on initial contact you have Tango.
Alrighty. We do have Tango. Let's go ahead and listen to the winds one more time. INTL. I love it's like Orlando INTL. It's that international airport. That's funny.
Orlando INTL information Tango. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind calm.
Winds are calm. Beautiful. All right, we're done with that. Click that away. Nope, don't need you anymore. Nope, don't need you. Stop it. Stop it, I told you no. No. Why is it? There it goes. Good. God, man. There it goes. Shut up. Shut your face, sir. All right, we're descending down about 1,000 feet, so we'll be at our pattern altitude for the runway that we're going to be landing on. Winds are calm, so we are going to be landing to the south. And we're probably going to land on the 18 right, I would imagine, not 17. No need for that. Now, I am using default weather, so we're getting default clouds, which they have improved quite a bit. Quite a bit. I think that's Winter Haven over there. No, that's not. No, that's a different airport. It's one of the other Orlando airports. We passed Winter Haven a while back. Still coming through our altitude now, but yeah, these are the default cloud shadows, and you saw the flickering. I'm not on the newest version. They just came out with a patch for X-Plane 11 that supposedly fixed a lot of the flickering issues that people were having. And as you can see, I'm having that problem as well. So not a big deal, not a deal breaker. Just wish it wasn't swimming around so much. It could be these cockpit reflections, actually. I didn't even think about that. Nope, it's not. It's not the window reflections. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't, that I wasn't like, oh, man. And it's not. Coming down on 1,500 feet now. Got the airport in sight. We're going to join the pattern. We'll be a right traffic for runway 18 right. Is the idea here. Trimming up a little bit more. Nav out. I want those things turned off. Off you go. Off you go. Yeah. I guess you can't clear those lights. Once they're off, they're off. I'll bring that up like that. Add a little bit more power. I just love the sound of a twin. It sounds so good. All right, let's go forward on our props. As we are getting close to land. About 1100 now. I'm going to let it level off a little bit more. We're not ready to add any flaps or anything like that. So let's go ahead and do our landing checklist. It's going to be seat belts and shield harnesses are checked. Fuel selector valves, those are both on the right ones. Boost pumps are off. Cowl flaps, we're not worried about those. Mixture controls are going to be full rich. Flaps are going to be approached at 15 degrees below 152 knots. Which we will do here once we join the right downwind. Let's go back down. I'm sorry, I'm reading. I'm not paying attention to my flying. That's my fault. Landing gear will be down below 152. Flaps will be down at 122 airspeed. It'll be 95 or so. Propellers, high RPM. We've done that. Beautiful. Put that away. Back to flying. Sorry. I got sidetracked reading that. Start pulling back our power some more. Yeah, and even though you can drop the gear to 152 knots, you don't necessarily want to. That makes sense. You want to be in the white arc when you're going to drop your gear. Just keep that in mind. REP will have little things that pop up on the top of your screen that, you know, give you hints about all that stuff. But for the most part, just keep that in mind. Ooh, the engines kind of sounded good there for a second, didn't they? All right, let's get back up on our altitude. There we go, bleeding off that speed like that. We'll go approach flaps. Add our power. We'll get right back on up to 1,000 feet. We're about 4 miles out to the airport, so we're going to shoot about a 2 mile right traffic here. And there's 1,000 feet right there. You can kind of see how the airplane kind of balloons up around that. Pull our power back some more. There we go. It's about 3 miles, and we're going to be about 2. I'll be hand flying this sucker. My trim is not wanting to play nice with us for a second. There we go. A little bit better there. Let's go ahead and turn our landing lights and stuff on. Landing. We'll turn the taxi light on as well. And we are just at 2.7, so we'll do 2.5. That'll work. 2.5 miles. Right there. We'll start our left turn now. We'll be on a right downwind for runway 18 right. 800 is where you want to be in this pattern at sea level. So we're going to make sure we do that. So turn to 360 for right there. That's good. We've got the airport in sight. We have the runway in sight. We're landing on the right runway right there. We're going to taxi down to the FBO. Well, if there is an FBO there. There isn't a real one, but I don't think there is on the actual scenery. It's that Nimbus scenery that we took off out of in the IXEG 737 in the last video. All right, looking good there. Speeds are fine. And we are looking good. We're just gonna start our base leg here. We're gonna go ahead and drop the gear. We go landing flaps. Props are full forward. Let's slow this puppy down. We turn out here on our base leg. About 100 knots there, about 95 where I want to be. Roll off nice and easy here. We're at 600 feet, looking good. And we have our visual pretty much mapped out for us. We're just going to fly right on the right side of this lake here on our final approach. Pull our power a little bit more. Start our turn for final. So final and final, we've got our flaps down, yellow light, gears down, 3 green on the bottom there. You can see it. And we're going to shallow out our turn. Do a little shorter approach. About like this. Tad low, bring that nose up. There we are, right on the glide slope. Looking good. And with this airplane, it's all about the amount of power you keep into the airplane. We're doing 95 knots there. Gonna pull back a little bit more. Tad low, bringing that nose up. We're okay. Winds are calm, so we're not bouncing all over the place. Looking good here. And once we get this thing settled down into ground effect, we're just gonna ever so slightly, right here in the flare, we're flaring it up. Ever so slightly pull that power. Just so lightly pull it. Keep on pulling it back. Ever so slightly. And we're down. Woof. Not bad at all. Pull our engines back. And we made it to Orlando in one piece. Absolutely love this thing. I mean, the way that you get ground effect in a sim, there's nothing better than these REP packages. It is just done so well. You can just hold it right there in ground effect and then just, I mean, whenever I was learning how to fly this airplane, I was dumping the power like a Cessna, you know? Can't do that. You will smash right into the runway. So you've got to be so smooth on pulling your power back, your throttles. We'll make a right turn up here in a second. And we'll do the whole maintenance hangar thing. I want to show you that part of it. We don't want to really nail the brakes, you know. You can lock up the wheels and damage them and all that good stuff with this package. But I do love the sound of the brakes when you add them. And they'll squeal and all that good stuff. Awesome. Go ahead and open up our window. And listen to the sound of those engines and the wind hitting us in the face. It's absolutely awesome. Go left here. We'll taxi down there to the end. Where the little awnings are and that other airplane is. All right. Well, while we're doing that, let's go ahead and get everything else cleaned up. Those can come up. We can go ahead and turn our landing lights can come off. Strobes can come off. And that's good for now. Cowl flaps, we can open those guys. And we'll taxi into the ramp from here. Yeah, a little A320 sitting over there, a Delta A320 at the hangar. Love the scenery. It is so amazing. I mean, you can see right there, there's the two taxiways that go over the little road back there. That is a lot of fun to taxi over. All right, let's make a right turn here. Park over here where the awning is and these cars and all that good stuff. We'll say that this is the FBO in front of the Delta A320. And that's pretty much a quick look at the Carenado Baron 58 with the reality expansion pack. Like I said, the description will have the links for it. If you want to get it yourself for X-Plane 11, it is absolutely awesome. It was designed for X-Plane 10, but it works in 11 with no problems. I didn't have to do anything crazy or anything like that. Come to a stop here. There we go. Oops. We'll pull that parking brake like that. Let's do our shutdown checklist. Parking brake is set. Props are set to high RPM. Throttle set 1,000 RPM. Fuel boost pumps are off. Electrical and avionics equipment, we're going to turn those off, so avionics come off like that. And then from there we go mixture controls to idle cutoff for both engines. There we go. Magneto start switches can go to the off position. And battery off. Well, we'll turn those alternators off and battery off. And that is a full flight from cold and dark to shutdown in the Carenado Baron 58. Hope you guys check the airplane out yourself. I've been having an absolute blast flying it. Before we get out of here, I'm going to show you the maintenance so you can see what that's all about. Let's go ahead and hop to the outside view here, and we'll get the airplane all tied down with the static elements like that. And let's go to the maintenance hangar, and I'll show you what this is all about. So you have the left engine. This shows you your cylinder status. You have to do an overhaul time before the next overhaul tells you right there. It tells you the status of your starter, the spark plugs, fuel filter, the oil, the vacuum pump, the right engine. You can check all the stuff for that. Engine tools here. You've got, you can mount the cowl fairings. You can enable the fast preheating if you're up in Alaska or something like that. Electrical avionics, you see the life of your battery. You can fix the avionics if you damage those. And here's the landing gear. It shows you the status of your tires as well as the brakes. And yes, that it will be heavily affected on how you land the airplane and all that good stuff. So in the end, that is it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.